Hello, screenwriters. Lee Jessup here, career coach for emerging and professional screenwriters, as well as adjunct screenwriting professor for the David Lynch grad program for cinematic arts. I'm here today to talk about the length of your screenplay or TV pilot. I know we hear a lot about it and we wonder whether it's a rule or a guideline. So I wanted to break it down to give you the standards and talk about why it's important. So for a feature screenplay, we always tell you that we want to see it under 120 pages. That's really the limit, but really what we're talking about is under 110 if you can get there. If you're writing a comedy or a horror feature, those are supposed to just move a little bit faster, have less action. We're hoping to see those come in under 100 pages. On the pilot front, if you're writing a 1 hour pilot, at this point, they're ranging anywhere from like 52, 53 script pages to 60. Some people will push it to 64, but we'd like to keep it at 60. And if you're writing a half-hour pilot, then we are talking about a max page count of 38 pages. We want to be over 30. So remember that we always, in half hour, want to be over 30. In 1 hour, we want to be over 50 and above, because that kind of 40 to 50 page count is kind of a dead man zone as far as script length goes. But why is it so important? And I know that people will say, well, Christopher Nolan can do whatever he wants and get away with it. The rest of us humans, unfortunately, don't fall in the same criteria. And once you have representation, or once you are working with the industry, those rules can become a little bit more flexible, but I'm talking by single page increases as opposed to dozens of page increases. The reason that it's really important as an emerging writer that you bring your scripts in at the correct page count. Oh, and one thing that I forgot is multicam. Multicam scripts, half-hour multicam scripts can land between that 40 and 50 page count, but those are different scripts that are written at a different format. And if you're writing that, we want to know how to format that properly. But the reason that you want to stay to this page count, that you want to adhere to 110 pages or less for a feature, don't go to 120 if you really don't have to, or 38 and below for half hour, 60 and below for 1 hour, is because you want to communicate that you understand the format and you can make it work, right? The idea is that working writers in the industry today can make it work and push towards that. And if working writers that are already repped and have a career that they can speak to, are finding a way to adhere to that page count, you as a writer starting out, as a writer making your name in the industry, whether it's through competitions or getting representation and getting your work out there, want to show that you can work by the rules that the industry has laid out and meet the standards that have been set for writers coming into the industry. So incredibly important to meet that page count, to come in under it if you can. And for the record, when I say under it, I don't mean under 90 pages for a feature. Somebody sent me a feature recently that was 78 pages and I had to go, that's not a feature, that's a very long short. And yes, for the record, there have been exceptions. There are exceptions to every rule. There was a script years ago that was an action script with no dialogue that ended up at 52 pages, but it was a studio movie. So a studio can come in and make explanations before they go into it. And that was never made, for the record. So there are exceptions to every rule. Keep that in mind as you read blacklist scripts, as you familiarize yourself with material out there. Know that you will see exceptions, but as a writer trying to get attention, as a writer proving that they are ready for the industry space, it's really important that your work meets that standard, starting with the page count. And in future videos, I will talk about some of my pet peeves that will help you think about your writing and how to make sure that it really is received as the near professional sample that you want it to be. Also, small tip, when executives and managers read a new script, first thing they do is look at the page count, and that's how they're going to tell whether or not they think that the person writing it is a professional, understands the industry, or somebody kind of playing by their own rules. So I hope you found this little nugget helpful. There will be, as always, more coming your way. Check out my website, leejessup.com, and Screenwriter Support Group, and there will be more soon. Bye!